Hello everybody, it's excuse me, it's Adge here, continuing on with the sim airport that we've started. Last time we expanded the terminal and did some rearranging of our gate placements, because gate C1 was originally placed in this position here. Obviously having the gate there meant we couldn't expand the terminal to the right any further, so I put it to sit alongside gates A1, B1 up at the top. That gives us all this room out here to further our terminal if we need to. One thing I was looking to do is to look to expand the airport upwards onto the first floor. Obviously that's very expensive to do, so need to wait till we get some money together to be able to do that. Another thing I might consider doing, first of all, is unlocking fuel. For that we need to go to Operations 2 first of all, which requires $30,000. Once we've unlocked Operations 2, we can then unlock fuel ports. And then we can think about having a fuel network. Of course, we could get the infrastructure in place already. The fuel ports just unlocks an upgrade for your terminal gates that have a, as the name suggests, a fuel port at each gate, which makes the refueling process quicker. So I think what I might do is, rather than waiting to unlock 2 levels of tech before I build the fuel system, is I'm probably going to go ahead and get it now. So I need $15,000 for the fuel depot, which is where the fuel trucks will come and deliver the fuel to for the airport. It needs to be attached to the road, so if I put it there, the fuel trucks will come down here. They come at 11 o'clock at night, 2300 hours, and actually supply our fuel here. Obviously we need to store it in a fuel tank of some description. Now you have 2 choices. You have a normal size one, which costs $14,200, or you can actually have a large fuel tank for $89,000. The larger one has a much greater capacity. As you see there, the regular one has a capacity of 172,000 litres. The larger one can store 1,000,000 litres of fuel. Now, because we make money pretty quickly, I think I'm just going to wait a while and get the larger fuel tank, the 1,000,000 litres capacity one. So that'll mean we'd have to refill our fuel supplies quite as frequently. We could probably get away with a smaller one, but I'm going to wait for the big one. I'm going to future-proof it, so to speak. Of course, having the fuel available to the airlines will bring us extra revenue, which is good, because we can sell the fuel to the airlines as they come in and out. You can also actually sell the fuel back to the fuel market if you so choose. So, for example, right now it's around about what, $1.09. If we manage to pick up some fuel at a cheap price, say at 80 cents for a litre, and this price went up to say $1.40, we could sell the fuel we have and make a decent profit on it, just by selling it back to the market rather than selling it to the airline. So that's an option if you need a bit of, if the market forces align and you need a bit of quick money, you can just sell your fuel back. And you look at it right now, it's dropped to 87 cents, so it's quite cheap at the moment. From what I've noticed before, it fluctuates from between around about 70 to 80 cents at its lowest point, up to around about 140, 145 at its highest point. You see it's increasing at the moment. Got up to past $1.10. But it does change, so you do have to keep an eye on it, and you have to be a bit strategic, you know. If you see that the price has dropped and it's very low, even if you don't need the fuel at that time, it's probably an idea to go ahead and place an order and take advantage of the reduced price. Because at least you can store it and it's yours then. If you don't need it for a while, then it's not doing any harm sat in your tank waiting. Because you don't want to be caught short and, you know, have a sudden demand for fuel, and you find your fuel tank's running low and the price is up at $1.40, you have to shell out a heck of a lot more money than you might necessarily have to. So it is an idea. It is something to keep an eye on. So we're getting close now to be able to pay for the large fuel tank, which is what was it, 98,000, 89,000. So we're up at 81.5. So pretty soon we'll go ahead and get a large fuel tank. And then once the price drops to a reasonable level, we'll pick up a load of fuel. Not necessarily get 1,000,000 litres, you know, we're not going to be able to afford to get 1,000,000 litres. If we can get a good chunk of it, while it's cheap, it's worth doing. Anyway, we can afford it now. Oh, nope, no we can't. Just have staff expenditure and so forth at the wrong time. Very soon we'll be there we've got 96,000. Let's put the fuel tank there. And then you have fuel pipes, and these connect to these connection points are highlighted by this icon here, and same here. And as you can well imagine, the fuel pipes connect from your depot to your fuel tank, and they allow your tanks to be filled up. Once you unlock the fuel ports technology, you can then run them from your tanks to the fuel ports at each gate. Again, using fuel pipes to achieve that. So we're in the red right now, but that's fine. It's only because we have no airline activities at the moment. It is just nearly 2:30 in the morning. Let's just check how we performed yesterday. Everything looks okay to me there. Today, a couple of busy flights again. One quiet one. That's a smaller capacity plane, the E195. Some point it would be nice to swap the E195 flight for either a Boeing 737 or an Airbus A320, because they have a larger passenger capacity, so they're going to bring us more money. But even saying that, this 737, it's only got 58 people on, when you compare to some of the 737s with more than 100 passengers on. Just because it's a bigger flight doesn't, a bigger airplane doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have more people on it. Although it's more likely, obviously. Plus, bigger capacity, you can have more people on. I think the Embraer plane is about 70, maybe 90 passengers maximum, so you're never going to get over 100 on one of those flights. What's wrong with our toilets? Are they breaking down? Requires urgent maintenance. Okay. Repair. 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 What I should do then is go into the operations control panel, go to maintenance. Because I've actually forgot to set the maintenance threshold, so we want our gates repaired when they hit, say, 70%. Runways go for 70% as well. Bag scanners, so that have a bit more scope. They'll have 50%. Body scanners the same, 50%. This is awkward, thank you. Toilets, they can afford to be even lowest, I imagine. We'll go for 30%. It's a bit finicky to try and get your precise numbers using a slider. It would be perhaps better if you had a increase, decrease button, or even a text window where you could just type in the threshold you want. Make it a bit more easier, but it is what it is. We got there. Okay, so we've got 20,000. It's probably worth connecting the first pipe. If we can afford the full length of the pipe, that is. To run from here. Did I get that right? I did. To there. So the guys will come out and build that. Once that's done, we could buy some fuel once the price gets a bit cheaper. Even if we're not going to use it at this point, at least it's there. Now with the fuel, you can either have a recurring order, so say if we want to have 50,000 litres every day, irrespective of the price at the time, you'll set that there. Or you could have a one-time buy and sell. And I'm probably going to do the one-time, you know, the one-off payments. And that way I'll order fuel in whenever it gets to, say, less than, I don't know, 95 cents, 90 cents on the litre. That way, I'm not going to accidentally pay $1.40 for some fuel, when a couple of hours later, we're buying the same amount of fuel for, you know, 50 cents cheaper. So the fuel pipe's now completed. So we could fill our tank up if we wanted to, but I don't want to pay $1.20 because I know it does get quite a bit cheaper than that. So in the meantime, I'll use the money that we now have to research Operations 2, which then obviously leads to fuel ports, so we can then connect the gate directly to the fuel tank. That allows the flights to be refueled a lot quicker. Now, one thing to notice is you don't know, at least I don't think you can tell in advance whether your flight is going to be refueled or not. As you can see, when you hover over and you get this information pop up, you have a refuel chance. Right now they're all at 0% because we don't offer fuel refueling services. However, I can't tell if this flight, for example, is going to request fuel until it arrives. Now, I'm not sure why they've opted to, you know, handle the fuel mechanism in that way. You know, I thought it would make sense to be able to check in advance, especially for the next day, how much, you know, how many flights are going to be requesting fuel, because then you can plan. Okay, I know that 12 of my flights are going to put an order in for some fuel. I don't have much fuel stocks in place, so I'll get some ready for tomorrow. Because you have to buy it before 2300 hours, 11 o'clock. I'd also imagine, and this is just a guess, I've never worked in an airport, but common sense to me dictates that at an airport, they know before the flight lands whether or not the flight is going to request a refueling service or not. I'm pretty sure they find out before the flight lands. I'm sure it's not a case of waiting until the plane is at the gate and then the captain would decide, oh yeah, in fact, while I'm here lads, chuck some fuel on for me, will you? I'm sure it doesn't work that way, so not sure why they haven't done it that way here. To me, it doesn't make much sense. But that's the way they've opted to do it, so I suppose it makes the game a little more challenging because you don't know how much fuel you're going to need for the day ahead, but to me that's a very contrived and artificial challenge to put into the game. But maybe that's just my opinion anyway. It is what it is, as we said. There's not much we can do about it either, so just have to get on with it. So anyway, we've got most of our fuel systems set up. I'm not going to offer fueling services until we unlock fuel ports. I'm also not going to pick up any fuel until it drops to below at least 90 cents. But I think we'll end this episode at this point. It's been 15 minutes, which is a fair enough length. We've got the start of the fuel system ready. It's it's there. It's ready to go. We're ready to take on fuel if we so desire. And that's going to make us more money over the long run. So we should be able to expand our airport upwards that little bit sooner. So that spending money to make money adage. Speculate to accumulate. Okay, look, before we do end it, we've dropped to 90 cents, so I think now is a decent time to perhaps pick up some fuel. So, it's 90 cents per litre, we've got $30,000, so I'm not going to do the maths, I'm awful at mental maths. I'm just going to just play with the numbers until I find them out. That's 28,000... 36, could we get 40 again? There, let's, in fact, might be able to get 45. Right, let's buy 45,000 litres of fuel. Oh, see, just missed the price. And now the price has gone back up to $1.31, so I'm glad I'd actually stopped. So yes, we'll end this episode here, guys. Hopefully in the next one we'll be able to get some fuel in. Also get fuel ports unlocked, and then start offering fuel to the airlines to start making us some extra revenue. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video and you are liking the series, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any comments, suggestions, tips, ideas, questions, anything of that nature, just go ahead and drop it in the comments section. But until then guys, take care of yourselves and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.